I want to bring back in Kayleigh, Tara, and Farron. And Kayleigh, to you, your reaction to what you're seeing here.
Well, you're going to have protesters. There's no doubt about it. But I encourage voters to really go look at Donald Trump's resume. You can go on YouTube. What you'll see is Jesse Jackson. There's a video of him standing beside Donald Trump, calling him a friend, praising him for his gusto to put the light on Wall Street and bring black people into Wall Street when he opened his building to the Rainbow Push Coalition. You can also go find Abe Foxman from the Anti-Defamation League who said... You can also find Abe Foxman from the Anti-Defamation League who praised him and said he brought the spotlight on discrimination in West Palm Beach. You'll also find Donald Trump was the first candidate to say, I want the Confederate flag to come down in South Carolina. So we can marginalize him, and there's going to be an attempt to paint him as a racist, but I think it's very sad. That is a highly offensive term. He is not that. And by the way, look at the latest Fox poll. More than a majority of Americans think that is an unfair way to characterize Donald Trump.
Tara?
Okay, first of all, the reason why Donald Trump donated that space to Jesse Jackson, which I think it's kind of laughable that now all of a sudden Republicans are praising Jesse Jackson as someone that we should respect. I mean, we all know about Jesse Jackson and his shakedown operations, and that's what was going on at that time. So Donald Trump and Jesse Jackson forged a relationship so that Jesse Jackson wouldn't come after Donald Trump's companies during his shakedown stuff that he was doing at that time in corporate America. So that's out. And Mar-a-Lago, enough with this Mar-a-Lago talking point. What happened, Donald Trump used that as an opportunity to get the regulations and permits that he needed in Palm Beach to change Mar-a-Lago. He wanted to do all kinds of things to that property, and the Palm Beach community wasn't happy about it because they considered him new money. So he used the issue of not allowing blacks and Jews into that club. He used that as a way to embarrass the Palm Beach council down there so that he could get what he wanted for his club. So that is, I mean, to hold that up as some kind of Martin Luther King civil rights act on the part of Donald Trump is ridiculous. He did it for his own selfish purposes. So Donald Trump's
Anti-Defamation League disagrees with you, Tara.
Hold on. I didn't let them interrupt you.
They can be happy. I mean, look, that's great that blacks and Jews were allowed into his club, but let's not act like the motivation was because Donald Trump felt as though it was so horrible. I just told you, and if you looked up the case, you would know it. And I have people that live in Palm Beach that told me. So you got to stop with that talking point. And
Kayleigh,
this really quickly. That overshadows Donald Trump's other major problems, from the Central Park Five and calling for the death penalty of 5 young minorities in New York at a highly charged time when they were completely exonerated and won $42 million in restitution from New York because they were wrongly convicted for raping a young white woman in New York. He never apologized for that. For the civil rights lawsuit, the Fair Housing Act violations that they had in the 70s and 80s, they never apologized for that.
Never proven in a court of law, Tara. Never proven.
And he settled in the consent decree, Kayleigh. You went to Harvard Law School. You know what that is. And they violated that consent decree. And the Justice Department had to go back a third time to go after them for not living up to it. So you know better. And thirdly, Donald Trump was also, his company his casinos in Atlantic City were fined for workplace discrimination, for removing black dealers from the floor in the casino because big high rollers didn't want them there.
Tara,
so these kinds of things are
documented,
and black people see right through it.
Tara,
Kayleigh, let me ask you this. Let me get to, and you can get to those points, but I want to know, what do you expect the tone will be that Donald Trump will take? I mean, I imagine that he won't be fiery during this church service. I mean, we all know the decorum of a religious ceremony, but during this interview, do you think he will say that, ask this pastor, what the hell do you have to lose? Will he take that tone to the Impact Network?
I think he's going to bring up real issues that are important in the black community. And I know Tara wants to get in a knockdown, drag-out fight about the past, and voters can go look up. Voters know. Please, I let you speak for 2 minutes. Voters can go look up the case. They can see it was never proven in a court of law. But look, all of this is so unfair to me, to voters. This entire discussion really is unfair to voters because you're sitting there marginalizing his outreach rather than addressing his argument. Donald Trump is standing in Detroit saying 40% of people in this city are in poverty. More than half of people in the city do not have a job. This is what voters care about. We can try to depict him as a racist. We can do whatever we want, but this is unfair to voters. Voters care about the economy. Voters care about their family. Voters care about getting into colleges and being able to afford colleges. This entire discussion to me is completely unfair to the American voter who wants to know what these two candidates are going to do to improve their lives and their well-being.
All right, stand by. We've got Jeremy Diamond. Hold on for a second, Tara. We've got Jerry.